Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beard, the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, December the 4th. Race number 6 at Woodbine. Stakes action. We're going a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta surface. Let's throw up the field for the $100,000 Kingarvie Stakes. You can access free formulator pass performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page, DRF.com. Download them, handicap along with us. Speed down towards the inside. Mike and I completely agree with Timeform US's assessment on their pace projector. The number 1, Lakeside Park, has speed, has the inside, and I would expect Patrick Husbands to utilize that speed and get right up front.
Yeah, he's got to get forward in this race. That's what they did with him last time. He was off a little layoff last time they used his speed. He could only settle for third in that race, but I agree with you. I think he'll be forward in this race. Also,
the number 3, the Rain Man, stretching out in distance. The 7, Artie's at the Party. They're all prominently placed on the Timeform US pace projector. Let's begin with the number 1, Lakeside Park. Third last time out, first time off a little bit of a break. Has good speed. I think has some upside potential. I think has to do a little bit better than his recent outings because, to be honest with you, the stamina has been lacking in his last 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. You know, if I'm being honest, Dan, I don't love any of his races. I think he's run fine. I'm just not really blown away by him. I understand that he has speed in the rail and maybe he gets a good trip in this race. I don't love his races that much.
Well, watch Lakeside Park's most recent start. And keep in mind, this was his first race off a little bit of a layoff, and he was stretching out for the first time. He was 17-1. You see, he's already been passed by the even money and odds-on winner, Zoological. I don't know. Again, the stamina not there. The conditions this day a little bit testing, certainly for a horse coming off of a layoff. It's not like he's going to get an easy lead with some of these stretch-out sprinters, though, and that's what worries me about Lakeside Park. I think I would like him more if there wasn't as much speed in this race, or at least tactical speed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd like him a lot more if he looked loose, and he doesn't look loose. And you can see in that replay there, you know, he didn't go that fast in that race, Dan, and he was just sort of going up and down at the end of that race.
First time 2 turns for the number 2, Agnelli. And boy, you know, I thought Agnelli got a setup 2 starts back going 6 furlongs. They went very fast in front of him. He didn't show any speed. He was last early, and he sort of clunked up to finish third behind the 2 favorites. Last time out in the Frost the King, he was 33-1. He didn't fire. He's going to have to face the horse that beat him in that race. Maybe 2 turns is a difference. Maybe if they go fast up front, he can come with an improved run. But I needed to see something in the Frost the King, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could talk myself into him off of that last performance. Obviously, I don't think you want to just, you know, go all in and hold one race against a horse, but he did 0 running last time.
The number 3, the Rain Man, pulled off an 11-1 upset in his career debut, and he looked good doing it despite being very green. We turn into the stretch, and the Rain Man is attacking on the outside. He's in those big white blinkers, but just watch him try to drift in this entire stretch run. The horse on the lead is 44-1, and the Rain Man has him beat. It looks like he just wants to lean right on this horse. He's green. I think there's something here. I think he's going to have to improve in a hurry, though, stretching out.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be way more professional in this race. I thought he was pretty good breaking his maiden. I liked the way that he traveled early in the race. Like, he had good speed tracking that pace, and he was just very, very green through the stretch, as you saw in the replay. I thought he ran well, Dan. I think he's a contender in this race.
The number 4 dotted line is even money in this race, and based on his most recent win in the Frost the King, if you just look at that figure, if it comes anything close to that 81 buyer, he's going to be tough to beat. I can understand anyone that has knocks against this horse, considering A, he was almost 50-1 when he won the Frost the King Stakes, and he's going to be a big favorite in here. And 2, didn't he just get a great trip? We turn to the stretch of the Frost the King. He saves ground. This rail just opens right up for him. He shoots on through. We'll give him some credit for, you know, holding off Artie's Princess, but it just seemed everything, a confluence of events came together for Dotted Line's upset win.
I mean, all those things are very true. He got a really good trip. He is very game, though, to sort of duel down the even money favorite here. He's going to pay $100 to win this race. You know, I feel like one reason to just not, you know, you always worry about taking horse who just paid $100 and now is going to pay maybe $4 in his next start. But at least in his case, he has the race 2 back where they stretched him out. And he won that race very easily when he broke his maiden. So I think there's a lot to like about this horse, Dan.
Number 5 is True Believe. First time Lasix, first time 2 turns. He has enough pedigree, I think, to get the distance. I'm not worried about that. It's just that his only win came for a scant $25,000 maiden claiming tag, and I just didn't see enough in his last race without Lasix. Maybe he will improve. He gets a big rider switch to Luis Contreras here. I just didn't see enough in that first start against winners that makes me think he's ready to take a step up into the stakes ranks.
Yeah, we look at it the same way. Maybe the distance in the Lasix will sort of get him to take a big step forward here, but it's going to have to.
The number 6 Baddest Blues, I guess, has a puncher's chance in here, stepping up off of his maiden claiming victory. We're going to take a look at Baddest Blues' race. He is far, far behind in here. He is the number 13 in this race, and you're going to see one of the horses on the lead is just going to drift out considerably, and he gets a split and comes right on through. It was nice to see him finish this off. I just don't love these kind of horses with this running style when they step up in class against tougher.
Yeah, I don't either. He's going to need, that pace projector to be true and more than that. He's going to need these horses to really go at it on the front end.
We talked about the number 3, the Rain Man, and how he looked good in his debut victory. Well, that was the slower division of those maiden optional claimers for 2-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs on November the 10th. The 7 Artie's at the Party comes out of the faster division. This horse did not take a ton of money for his debut, but he took some pressure on the lead with a couple other horses. We turn into the stretch, and he puts both of those pace rivals away. He's still on the lead down on the rail, and he's just not going to have enough to hold off Speedy Bolt. All things considered, a good effort. He's going to show speed, and I think he's going to work out a good trip tracking on the outside. 12-1, another horse with a big rider switch.
I like all those things as well, Dan. I think it's also worth noting in this debut that we're looking at, not only did he duel the pace around the turn, he dueled it with the 2 favorites. They finished 5th and last in there. He held on to finish 2nd. I actually thought he ran really well to a horse that just got a perfect trip and ran him over in the stretch. I think it's also worth noting, since this is the race of the day and you have formulator PPs, Ricky Griffith does not have good numbers with first-time starters. He has really good numbers with second-time starters.
And this horse gave a promising account, as you saw, and the fig came back solid for a debut runner, especially from the Griffith barn, a 60 buyer. Dancer's Ghost completes the field. This is a 4-race maiden. Doesn't have a ton of tactical speed. No match for a couple of these in the past. Beaten by Lakeside Park, beaten by Dotted Line. Another horse that just has to improve. Is sort of stagnated at the high 50 buyer level.
Yeah, I didn't like his race 2 back when Dotted Line beat him, and I didn't think he did anything last time to sort of change my opinion of him. He just has to improve by a lot.
Top selection for the Wednesday DRF race of the day, the Kingarvie Stakes. Mike, you're taking a shot here with the 7. Artie's at the Party, put the 2 favorites away, won the duel, lost the war. This time around, I think has enough speed to get right up close with a good trip. And distance, his sire wanted to go a little longer.
Yeah, a lot of distance on top, a lot of distance on the bottom as well. He's really bred to stretch out. So hopefully all these things will conspire to get him to run better. Dan, it's hard to be, against this favorite with a ton of confidence. But I'll take a small shot with the 7, and I'll play 4-7 to back it up.
I really wish that I had more confidence in this race. I just think that Dotted Line, if he runs back to anything prior to his last 2 races, he's just going to be really tough to beat. There's just no value playing him to win. And I think the Rain Man's going to give a good account, and he's the likely second choice. I think the value horse in this race, Mike, is your top selection in here. 4-3-7, my top 3 in the Wednesday race of the day. The Kingarvie Stakes has an approximate post time, 9:14 Eastern. Good luck.